From Carolla One Studios in Glendale, California, this is the Adam Carolla Show. With Gina Grad on news, Bald Bryan on sound effects, and a spirited round of the Rotten Tomatoes game. And now, his kids are too old for the elf on the shelf, but he did give them a 40-minute lecture on toggle bolts, nailing schedules, and how to mount a shelf. Adam Carolla.
Yeah, get it on. Not to get it on. There's a choice but to get on. You mandate you get it on now. Thanks for tuning in, and thanks for telling a friend. I love that about you. Right, Gina Grad?
That's right.
Handball, Bryan.
Let's play some games.
What year was that? Was that a Jefferson Starship song, or was that, Marty?
Yeah, that was Jefferson Starship.
And that was Marty...
Mickey Thomas.
Mickey Thomas. I gotta figure out what year that was, because that just brought me right back to living on the porch of my house on Houston Street in North Hollywood. And for Christmas, I think I got an FM radio.
The album Red Octopus came out in 75.
75, yeah.
Summer of 75.
Yeah, I was 11. I was out on that porch, and I got this. My sister and me both got a stupid radio, which was, by the way, you know, all we had in the world back then. But that was like a probably AM, FM with the big dial in it, you know, stupid radio. And that was it. That was the Christmas present. And I remember that's kind of the song they were playing when I plugged that thing in, and it just reminds me of just sitting out on that porch. So
slow motion panning shot of you and your cut off jean shorts, dirt lawn.
That's right.
It took batteries though, right? So how did you get one?
No, it plugged in.
Oh, okay.
It was
Never mind.
an old school plug-in style. All right. So breaking news: Gina and her AM radio station KFI have possibly parted ways. I don't know what you can tell us about that, Gina.
I'll tell you anything I know, which is not much.
How did you get told the information? I'm sure it was plenty of weeks in advance. We knew this is coming.
I've been preparing for this for 2 weeks. When you get a text from your boss that just says, when's a good time to call you? That's when like commence dread kicks in, because it's never like, I just want you to know you're really getting a handle of this. And it's really all sound. It's the show's singing. So I said, whenever. And then I just sat there and kind of dazed out and said, whatever will be, will be. And I thought, I'm going to get my ass handed to me because I'm not breaking in with enough breaking news. Or, you know, Tim went to me about a councilwoman and I didn't have the answer. And I thought, oh, here we go. Never in my wildest dreams did I prepare for or believe that I was calling to be fired or laid off.
In radio, especially AM radio, though, I feel like that always should be, if not on the tip of your tongue, in the back of your mind. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
not you, but I'm saying one should be prepared for.
I'll tell you. I mean,
hat.
But I'll tell you this. I mean, for real, I've gone through 3 layoffs, 2 flips, 4 layoffs, and I keep coming back for more. I'm a glutton for punishment. I love this medium. It's the family business. It's what I feel like I was born to do, and I keep trying to find more footing and stay ahead of the rolling boulder. But they said, it's budget cuts. We love you. It's budget cuts. But I'm not exactly, as my mom would say, I'm not exactly Diamond Lil over here. So I don't know how my salary would make anyone's but I don't know how these algorithms work. I don't know.
Adam, she's not the franchise player.
Well,
I don't know. I don't know what it is about, what I'm getting that would be a game changer. But they just said it's budgetary. And Conway opened the show and he was not happy.
No chance to sign off, right?
No, it's radio. Of course not.
I know. Every once in a while.
One night you're on and one night you're off, and it's never spoken of again. And you're just
physically
off.
cut her cord.
Yeah.
And they do want me to stay on in other capacities and things like that. And I'm going to take some time and mull that over because, I definitely don't have the upper hand when I'm choking back tears and trying to get a question out in a wobbly, quivery voice. This is not the time to, sign any paperwork. But I was really devastated. And, I love the station. I love the medium. I love Conway. And I was just really taken by surprise.
Yeah, I listened. I was a fan. I thought you guys had a great chemistry and you were doing a great job. So
Thank you.
I have no idea how radio works. I figured out a long time ago that it was such a fickle mistress that I should probably just go try to do my own thing. I figured out radio, Hollywood, production, everything. Everything was just a fickle mistress mess. And I should go try to do something that I could control a little bit more. And that's what I embarked on now, coming on 12 years ago.
Well, and speaking of your 12 years, it's almost 6 years that I've been with this show. And if I don't think of it, which I usually do, but if I certainly don't say it on a daily basis, things like this definitely remind me how lucky I am to be here, how lucky I am to get to still be on board. And I appreciate it. And this is my family, my core job, and we'll see what else the future holds.
Thank you. Give me a call off the air after the show.
Let me know a good time to call you.
Yeah.
Just do it now. I can't take any more.
It's good pod.
All right. So let's see. Drew is gone into the ocean. I got Drew hooked up. I mean, I gave him some pressure about getting in the pool and getting out of his stupid lukewarm shower, and now he's getting in the pool. And when he's down at the beach on the weekends, he's getting into the ocean. So Drew's now walking into the ocean every day. I took a day. I've got video of Drew just running into the ocean. I went into the ocean this morning too. And, like I said, once you get used to that pool in the foothills, the ocean is kind of a warm bath. Not bad at all compared to a freezing cold swimming pool. But
I hope he doesn't have rocks in his pockets.
I got Drew. I got Drew into the cold plunge. I got him into the cold plunge like 3 years ago. He just never really did it. He kind of did it on his own terms, and now he's doing the full ocean or the full swimming pool. So we got that going for ourselves.
It's a nice quiet beach right there.
I know. I think he's got a condo out there. We got the Most Disgusted to Have Sex with Adam, and the polls are open. So the voting is now open, so you can find the official post on our media accounts. Submit your candidates. We'll reveal the winners.
Beloved tradition.
Next week. People always say, not people, a lot of people go, why are you finding the women who least want to have sex? I go, because it's funny.
Yeah.
No.
And also, we got to have a top 10. And if you found women who most wanted to have sex with me, the field would be 2.5. Like, I don't think we could round that out.
We'd only need the one hand.
We just need the one hand. So you can go to
the one hand.
Adam Carolla on Facebook and Instagram and go ahead and vote. So when we'll have that.
It's funny how it changes year to year. Remember last year, Megan Rapinoe was on the list. She was in the news.
Oh, yeah.
Obviously, I think she fit the criteria. I don't know that she makes it this year.
Well,
No.
yeah, it's topical.
Yeah, you got
exactly.
to. Yeah, she doesn't have the heat. And is it Rapinoe or Rapino?
It's Rapino.
Oh, it is? Oh.
Yeah.
I think it is,
Shit.
but that's also the name of a Aston Martin four-door sedan.
Oh,
lot of
that's how you
range.
know.
Rapide, I think, is the Aston Martin four-door. Grant, 43, Utah. You have a suggestion? You want to improve the Most Disgusted to Have Sex with me, Paul?
Yes, because it has to be someone that actually would not, that you would not want to have sex with. What I mean is, like, if you don't want to have sex with that person, then it kind of defeats the purpose. Like, you have to actually enjoy it, get off on them, and have fun.
Yeah.
But it's like Nancy Pelosi. Like, who the hell wants to do that?
No.
Right. I was just going to say Dianne Feinstein.
Yeah, great. Feinstein, Rapino.
Oh my God.
One and one.
Yeah. So you're yes.
I mean,
Grant, you're right.
part of
If
the
I don't want to have
disgusting
sex
spirit
with
is, like,
them,
you
then
getting off on them. So
Yeah.
you're kind of
Maya
right.
Angelou might not be a great entry.
Yeah, maybe we should refine that. Maybe it should be. I mean, it's tough, but you're right. If it's a bunch of 80-year-old women who I don't want to have sex with, then bullet dodge.
It's a wash. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a bigger
if it's
slap
like,
in the
if
face.
You if you vomit first, then who really wins?
Yeah, if I lust, I should have to lust after them. That's a decent point. So,
Thank you, Grant.
yeah, when you do your Rosie O'Donnells of the world, then it's kind of like good, win-win. Yeah, you're probably right. I think you're right there, Grant. Maybe we should see if we can refine that a little bit. I have to want to have sex with them.
Any more notes on the show, Grant?
You have to give it the okay.
Yeah.
Grant?
Oh, you have to give it the old okay. Like, okay, yeah, I would do that. Or if not, then get her off the list. Because, yeah.
Yeah. No, that's a good point, Grant. Maybe we'll see if we can refine it a little bit for
or
2020.
have a separate like little 5 set or whatever 4, 5, 6
subcategory
where it's like a bullet dodge category in the bullet dodge division.
Yeah, I like the bullet dodge division. Jason, 33, Georgia.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Hi, guy.
Hi, guy. Adam, I just wanted to praise you and thank you for the show you did last week. Was just about 40 minutes with you and Dawson just going nuts about reopening the schools and all of that. I've listened to that portion of that episode like 5 or 6 times since you guys released it last week, and I've shared it around to I don't know how many people. Thank you for being one of the. I mean, you're one of the few voices going nuts about those things, and it's just the ridiculousness of what we're going through. It just, and I don't, like you said in that episode, you said you don't have any skin in the game. I don't either. I don't have kids. I don't have anything like that, and I'm not literally a millionaire. Like it's just the stupidity of everything that's going on right now. It's mind boggling, and I don't get it. I get it, but I don't get it.
I went to the beach today, and they had reinstalled the yellow police tape around the swing set that was on the beach.
Christ.
And by the way, it's creating some sort of weird underground speakeasy. Maybe there'll be an Al Capone that'll rise from all this thing. But there's this little taco place that's along the way, and it's got tables. Everyone has set all their shit up outside, but now there's no more eating outside, but it's on the beach and it's outside. And so I was walking back from the beach, and I was like, hey, I'll take a couple of tacos to go. And the guy's like, yeah. And then I'm like, or I could just sort of sit over there in the corner outside, but away from the prying eyes of the folks on the street. And he's like, yeah, just go over there and sit over there. Like if you didn't know what was going on, you'd have your head would explode. You have no contact.
He swipes his nose.
It's outdoors at the beach, and the guy's going, all right, don't tell anybody, but you can go over there and just eat your taco sitting down. Like, that's insane. That's a jump the shark moment. All this stuff only works if you do it super incrementally and super slowly so that people get used to it. Yes, sorry, Jason.
It's as absurd and ham-handed as when you go to the used car guy or even the new car guy. He's like, all right, let me go check with the boss and see what I can do. Don't say anything, or you know what I mean. It's like, all right, I know you're just gonna go outside and fill up your water cup and knock off $150.
This guy was worried about being busted about me eating tacos sitting outside. Sorry, go ahead, Jason.
No problem. I saw one of the most depressing things I've seen in a while today. Actually, I was at the mall doing a little Christmas shopping, and I'm on the upper level, and I look down and I see the photo station where kids can take pictures with Santa. But there's Santa with a mask on, of course, in one chair, and then there's a clear plexiglass screen to his left.
It's a little depressing.
And then another chair. And I couldn't help but think, are you people really gonna want to look at that picture and smile in later years? Are you really gonna?
No.
Jason, I'm glad you brought that up. Kaylin, do you have the picture I sent you from last night?
Oh, really?
So we took pictures with Santa because we were, adjacent to comedy. We thought that this would be, something for the memory books. And I didn't think it would be as bad as it is. But you're looking at the picture right now. It's my fiance and my soon-to-be stepson and I sitting on a bench with Santa 10 feet behind us, poorly lit.
He's
in a mask.
photobombing you.
I was just going to say, it looks like he's photobombing us, like he's not supposed to be there.
How far behind you is Santa?
He's probably about 7 feet.
Oh my
barely
God.
see Santa's head.
You cannot see Santa. In fact, I think it's because the way my hair was up. They said, "Oh, Santa, can you slide over a little bit?" You couldn't see him, and I thought we got to do. But to be fair, but I thought once you sit down, you take your mask off, and I started taking it off. Like, no. I was like, "But we're taking the picture." No, sorry, you got.
As though you're pulling the pin out of a grenade.
I had beautiful lipstick on. I was ready to go, and no, everybody keeps. That is our Christmas photo this year.
Where did you take it?
That was at the Santa Monica Plaza, like the mall at the end of the pier, at the end of the promenade.
Hey, Jason.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks for sharing that. All right, someone wants to roast me. That's Josh from 39 from Phoenix. Josh.
Hey, how are you?
Hi, guy.
Hi, guy.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So I just wrote this, but Adam complains about his parents so much, you'd think he'd rather be raised by the Ramseys. At least they gave their kid the D.
Oh, they give their kid the D?
Is it John Benet Ramsey?
Yeah, I got the Ramsey part, but what's the D? What was the punch on that?
That their kids were good looking enough to molest.
Oh, was that in the story?
But you
I'm
said
laughing.
at least they gave their kids the D?
The dick.
The D.
Oh,
the proverbial D.
Oh, the proverbial D. Sorry, I was thinking about like a D, like a grade or something.
Did John
old
Benet
school.
Ramsey get molested by her parents?
They're not known for that.
It's unclear.
He's Mormon.
Keep going, Josh.
That was it. That's all I had.
The roasting, by the way. When the amateur, I don't know what's worse, like an amateur roasting or an amateur doing drywall. It's always a disaster. It's always a goddamn disaster. It's funny. You think it would work. You think the roasting would work. It never works. All right. Well, we have
off the stage, fag.
We have a professional doing stand-up. That's me. I think I was in Florida. I don't remember.
Gotta clear our palates, man.
I don't remember a lot of this because I was buzzed on Don Julio, but
get the sorbet out here.
I think cleanse that palate. I think the subject is coffee, Max Zapata. Unprepared. Here we go.
Coffee. All right. I like coffee. Yeah, I'll do a shot. But the thing about coffee, when I was young, coffee was just fucking coffee, right? Like when I worked construction, you just go to 7-Eleven and you just get a cup of fucking shitty coffee and you go to work. It was like light brown. The light would pass all the way through the bottom of it. It was just coffee. And now we fucking upped our coffee game, right? Everything's like, oh, it's some Somalia, Sumatra, and whatever, the fucking African roast, and it's a deep dark, and it's a French roast, and it's got the tall grande thing with the light foam. Then everyone's got their own fucking take on coffee. They can't just order coffee anymore. Starbucks should have 2 lines. It should have one line that just says normal people who want fucking coffee, and then the other one should be like prima donna douchebags who don't think other people were born, who don't think other people want to get to work. You get behind with this. I got the venti latte. By the way, the chick in front of me, she ordered extra hot. She ordered a latte, right? She goes, extra hot, light foam. Hey, bitch, you like foam or not? Has anyone had too much foam? Has everyone picked up their fucking coffee cup and went, oh, there's way too much foam in here. I can feel it in my tricep. I wanted 3/32 seconds of foam. I got 5/16. This is fucked. You've ruined my day. Too much foam for you, my lady? How about you fucking blow it off then, bitch? Has anyone anyone been burdened with too much foam? You think anyone in the Donner Party had a problem with too much foam? Do you think anyone who landed at Iwo Jima had too much foam? Do you think the fucking boys that never came back after bombing Dresden in World War II suffered from too much foam? There's too much foam. Here's the thing about too much foam, you feckless cunt. If in fact you have too much foam, then just count to 4 Mississippi and it will go away. Foam is not forever. It's not a fucking De Beers commercial. It's fucking foam. Just count to 4 Mississippi. Your 3/4 of an inch of foam will go down to 5/8, and then Her Highness may go to work at the DMV.
Yeah.
I would like to submit that clip for Rant of the Year because
really
that was
good.
a masterpiece.
I
The
was
alcohol worked.
I was behind that woman, and I was in Pebble Beach. I was trying to go to the racetrack, trying to get my cup of coffee before we got to the track, and she wanted extra hot, light foam. I don't even know what the definition of light foam is.
Is there heavy foam?
I think
There
that
must be if you ask for light foam.
I think the notion is when you get a latte, probably is about 5/8 worth of foam at the top, and she wanted 3/8 or 5/16 or something, or half an inch. Like she wanted less foam. But again, wait around. The foam shall dissipate.
I'm so glad you said that. I was waiting to see if that was going to happen. Foam by itself doesn't stay.
Store it in.
Yeah.
Yeah, take a latte with extra foam, set it on the counter, come back in 10 minutes and see that there's zero foam there. That's how foam works. But anyway, she
That was
wanted
a solid rant. It made me think of two things. One, you'll be happy to know. Has anyone here ever noticed this? In high traffic places like airports, they will occasionally be like, anyone just getting regular coffee? Anyone just getting the regular coffee? And that's nice. I wish they do that everywhere, like you pointed out. And when you were a kid, we were kids, coffee was weird. Coffee was great. It smelled good, but like, who would ever drink coffee as a kid? And now Starbucks and all the rest, they're doing what the cigarette companies did, which is make it the ice blendeds or the whatever they are, make them appealing to kids. You got a customer for life.
Because they're not drinking coffee. It's so full of caramel
Exactly.
syrup and whipped
Right.
cream.
Yeah. It's funny, the regular coffee line is sort of like what the cash line used to be, where people would go, who's paying in cash? Come around, come
No
around.
checks.
Yeah, now it's coffee. Like, who wants black coffee?
Real quick, you know how we've talked about, and I keep bringing it up because I love it, the guy with the Ralph's card on his keychain or the guy with the Uber sticker.
Who's less?
I am happy who's less appealing.
Yes, who throws more kitty litter on the proverbial pussy
Right.
than which one? The Ralph's key
Yes.
card guy or the Uber guy?
I have never dated a guy who took his coffee any other way but black, ever. Or maybe a little cream, but no, I've never dated a specialty coffee drinker, and I think that would dry me up like LA in July. I think that is so, to me, it's a very unmasculine move. And then I like when the girl's always shocked, like, "Yeah, a cup of coffee. What kind? Just coffee." And everyone's always like, "Ooh,"
A
because
Renaissance man.
that's how coffee is meant to be ordered. And I like it when a man orders a regular coffee. If you get cute, then it's not for me.
Well, that's a job. I mean, if you think about it, if you're going to be with somebody who has very specific coffee needs, that's going to impact you. Because you're not going to be able to make coffee runs without a long dissertation about how they want it. And every trip to the Starbucks or the Coffee Bean and Tea Leaf is going to be a journey. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you want that. It also probably says something about the person. Like, you know, the people, my favorite person is when you go, is it Steve or is it Steven? And they go, whatever. That's that person. That's the easy coffee person, too. But I wonder, it'd be interesting, like if you followed this extra hot light foam witch around all day. I bet she would be a very specific need person. I bet this transcends. Yes, this isn't just about the coffee. It's more the mindset has made its way into the Starbucks, and that's why I like the easy people. All right, let's see. Last one, Bryan here wants to know my opinion on something about getting a job in Minneapolis. Bryan?
Hey, how are you?
Hi, Guy.
Hi, Guy. Hey, so thanks for taking my call. I was calling because I have been self-employed for the last 2 years, and this past year, not unique to me, has been difficult financially. And I have a job opportunity up in Minneapolis. But I'm wondering, there's a lot of people that are moving out of cities like LA and San Francisco and places like that. Is moving to a city like Minneapolis, in your opinion, kind of like taking a job on the Titanic halfway across the Atlantic?
I don't know a ton about Minneapolis. I was out in Minneapolis. Oh, no, wait a minute. I was in Chicago, and then I was doing something in Wisconsin. That's right.
The few times we've been there, it seems pretty bustling, pretty hip. Like, I would describe it from the outsider's point of view as like an up-and-coming city, but I don't know what the local economy's like.
Well, the biggest concern for me lately is that post this past summer, I think carjackings are up like 500% and all the crime rates, and they literally did defund the police, and now they're suing the police for not showing up to 911 calls. They're renting police from other close by towns. So I don't know. It just seems like a potentially long-term thing. Type of destabilization.
Was it Minneapolis where the mayor was at the rally and he's like, "We're not going to defund the police completely," and he got shouted out of the thing? Defund the police is like people being on the beach chanting "Kill the lifeguard." Like I just. It sounds good. It sounds good for those who want to go, wakeboarding, but eventually people are going to die. It just doesn't. Yes, wokeboarding. I know. It's like it doesn't. Defunding the police is great if you can get rid of the criminals first, but if you get rid of the police first, then you have a problem. So my feeling is get rid of the criminals, then defund the police. Don't get rid of the police and hope the criminals. And by the way, there's one thing about criminals. They are pretty damn crafty. When you announce that we're going to get rid of the police, then the crime goes up because that's how criminals work. So, yeah, I don't know. I've always had a good time in Minneapolis and St. Paul for that matter as well. But lots changed in a short period of time, and I don't know if I'd want to move somewhere where they were chanting about defunding the police. You also have crazy city council people where, like, seen some interviews with some of them talking about how I don't know, their white privilege for calling the police and all that kind of shit.
Yeah.
It's a fucking shit show over there. Yeah, I can't remember that call.
I think that was Portland, but yes.
Oh, was that Portland?
I think it.
Oh, you may have been
exactly
right.
What you're talking about.
Yes, you're definitely right about that one. All right, let's see. We got the Rotten Tomatoes game to play. We got a CNN report on deaths in nursing homes that I found the other day. First, let me just tell you about Simply Safe break-ins on the rise during the holidays. Simply Safe's having a huge holiday sale. 40% off any system and free security camera. Whether you're traveling or staying put for the holidays, you got to check out the 40% off plus free security camera deal before it ends this week. We've always used Simply Safe around here. These guys have been sponsors for about a decade. Peel and stick, batteries last up to 10 years. U.S. News and World Report calls it the best home security of 2020. CNET, Editor's Choice Award, Forbes, and Popular Mechanics Best of 2020. An arsenal of sensors and cameras. Set up yourself in about 30 minutes. Then Simply Safe security specialists monitor around the clock, sending emergency help if there is an alarm. Protect yourself with Simply Safe. Right, Dawson?
Get 40% off Simply Safe plus a free security camera today by visiting simplysafe.com/Adam. Go today. This deal is this week only at simplysafe.com/Adam. Simplysafe.com/Adam.
All right, I got a great clip to play from CNN. Also, Max Zapata found my Letterman appearance from 1999.
Ooh.
And he whacked that up into something. And we'll do all that right after this.
Adam Carolla's I'm Your Emotional Support Animal, navigating our all-woke, no-joke culture, has over 1,000 5-star reviews on Amazon. Here's one.
Another great book by the ace man, Adam Carolla. Podcasts, movies, documentaries, and books. I got a cover in Kindle version, and first book is audibly in listening to.
Easy for you to say. Pick up I'm Your Emotional Support Animal, navigating our all-woke, no-joke culture, and leave your 5-star review on Amazon. Get all the links at adamcarolla.com.
Well, I don't know where it came up, but my Letterman appearance from January 1999, I forgot.
Is this your first appearance?
Yeah, I forgot that. So I remembered that James Brown was after me, which always sounded insane to me. But I forgot that Yasmin Bleeth was in front of me. So it kind of...
What a time.
It yin to James Brown's yang. So it kind of settled my hash a little bit. So Yasmin was the opening. She was the lead guest. And then I was second, and it was a big deal doing Letterman, flying to New York after watching Letterman. And, of course, I shared an office with Jimmy Kimmel, and Jimmy was the #1 Letterman fan. So it was like kind of weird to go like, all right, Jimmy, I'm going to go do Letterman. And I think he wanted to do Letterman, but it was also meant pressure because I knew he'd be watching, and I knew this would be a big deal, and I didn't want to disappoint Jimmy. So I was sort of searching for an angle. And what I would always do if I was going to do an appearance is I was thinking like, well, you can tell funny stories or you can tell jokes or something, but be good to find an angle. And I kind of discovered my angle, and this is it from January 1999.
This is the co-host of the television program Loveline, which can be seen on MTV. Do me a favor, please welcome Adam Carolla. Adam. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, Dave. I'm a huge fan of the show.
Really?
And before we get started, I hope you'll indulge me. I just want to take care of a little personal business.
All right, be careful.
I'm just a poor idiot from the San Fernando Valley, but I've always dreamt of coming on the show, and I swore that if I did, I would take care of a few people. So is this the camera I look into over here? First off, I just want to go back. Just bear with me, Dave.
Don't be misled by the red light.
At MTV, there's just a monkey holding a flashlight. They don't have a red light. He's got to run from camera to camera.
What do you have to pay the monkey?
Oh, we just feed him peanuts.
Here,
that's all.
Give him a call.
All right. Dave, if you just bear with me, I'll just knock this out, and we can move ahead with the show.
Okay, fine.
First, Mr. Gregory. He taught my 10th grade driver's ed class.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah. I attended every day. I took every test, every quiz, and you failed me, Mr. Gregory. Now I'm on Letterman, and you can kiss my ass.
I don't know.
You know how I got here, Mr. Gregory? I took a town car. I don't even need a license. I have limousines filled with hookers. You understand me? Have fun in that 74 Vega you're tooling around North Hollywood in. Number two is...
There's more here. Oh,
yeah,
good Lord.
just a couple, Dave.
Sure, all right.
You understand you're not going to have me back. I just want to get this out of the way. Ken was my manager at the McDonald's in Studio City. Ken, you didn't think I had what it took to work behind the counter. He wouldn't let me work a register. I was on crap patrol, Dave. I had to clean up, empty the garbage, sweep. Time to lean, time to clean was Ken's motto. Ken, how about a sweep and a mop of my ass? I'm on Letterman now. Huh? Kiss it, baby.
Well,
Just
One
one
more?
more, Dave. Yeah. Mike Stramat was my first construction foreman.
you work construction.
Oh, yes, 13 years.
Okay.
I was 19. I was digging in a ditch. I
Yeah.
was a goomper.
Right,
I was
a
a
goomper,
laborer,
yeah.
as they called it. Mike, you told me one day.
Wait a minute. Does this have anything to do with he can take a nail gun to his ass? Is this where this is going?
No.
That kind of thing? Is that what we're looking at here?
No.
All right. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Mike, you told me one day to go out to your truck and grab the level, which I began to do. And then halfway to your truck, you yelled, "Run." I looked at you as if you were kidding, and you yelled, "Run" again.
Yeah. Get that level.
I didn't have the guts to say it back then, but now I'm on Letterman.
Yeah.
Mike, kiss my ass.
Oh, see.
I don't run for anybody.
Well, okay. Is that it? You feel better now, probably.
Yeah.
Take care of that, huh?
All of North America can kiss my ass. So let's just put an umbrella over
Bad
everybody.
attitude for a man in show business, but now the show, your show on the MTV, tell people what it is. What is the show? What is the precept of the program?
I sit there and yell at people to kiss my ass for an hour. 5 nights a week.
Seems pretty effective.
I sit like this. Dr. Drew, who's a board-certified physician, addiction medicine specialist,
Really?
a real bona fide doctor.
He's an actual doctor, this guy.
Not a TV therapist.
Dr. Drew? Drew is his first name?
Yes. We call him Dr. Drew
Right.
because, well, it's his first name. He sits over here. We don't know what the calls are. It's all improvised.
These are live calls?
Call in. Yeah.
They come from all over North America.
That's right.
And it's all about, I have sex trouble, I have problems, I have questions, and you and the doctor help, right?
Right.
Right.
Theoretically. Actually, the doctor helps.
Yeah.
I just keep the young stone listeners and viewers watching. That's real.
That's good.
I don't dispense any real advice, no.
How long has the show been on the air?
14 years.
Hey, good.
No, I'm lying. It's hard to tell with MTV. We've been on 4 MTV seasons, but they're sort of like dog years.
I see.
You know, so I think 2 years or something.
All right, well, it was nice to see you. Good to have you here.
It's a real pleasure.
Yeah,
Dave.
well, good luck with the career or whatever. We'll be right back with James Brown.
Crowd was into it.
James Brown.
You opened for James Brown.
The subtle brilliance of that "kiss my ass" bit is that the audience, anyone listening, is like, yeah, there's plenty of people in my past I would like to go on national TV and say "kiss my ass." Bosses, whatever, shitty roommates.
Yeah, they immediately vibed on it because it felt like what they would do if they had a chance to do it. All those people were real people. Obviously, I've spoken about those people.
Oh, yes. Only too real. Did Dave know you were going to do that? Did a producer tell him?
I really don't know.
Are you allowed to surprise Dave? I don't know.
You work with a segment producer. I think I told the segment producer what I wanted to do, and the segment producer probably vibed on it, thought it was kind of funny, and I imagine the segment producer told Dave, or either the segment producer told Dave, it's good, it's a good segment, or he's got a good idea, just go out there and sort of surprise him or something. But I really don't know definitively if he knew exactly the bit I was going to do.
He was lucky because it was funny, the crowd loved it, and it was light lifting for him.
Yeah, he didn't, it wasn't like interviewing one of the Kardashians or something.
Right.
Yeah, Kimmel. I'm looking at the screen here. Chris is asking. Yeah, Kimmel liked it, as I recall. It was a good appearance. It was like sort of monkey off the back. I was the first one to do Letterman in our group. It would have been just a nightmare flight home if it just didn't go well, and I would have walked back into the man show and everyone would have been standing there in the office, and it would have been like, whoa. So it was like, I remember flying home the next day from New York to L.A. And now this is how long ago it was, technology-wise, if you guys can remember this. the phone, the airplane phone, was like in the back of the plane by the toilet. There was a phone. Oh, yeah.
Oh.
You could go
I
use.
just remember the little slot in like where the tray table is.
Yeah. Well, this is pre that. Like there's a
In
phone.
1999, this would have been an older plane with the phone.
Yeah, it could have been an older plane with the phone. And the phone was in the back of the plane by the toilet. And Kevin and Bean were like, can you call in to the morning show? Because it was a big deal. The Kevin and Bean guy just did Letterman. You know what I mean? Like I started out on Kevin and Bean. So obviously after doing Letterman, they wanted me to call in the next morning. So there's like a 3-hour time difference. And I had like a morning flight, but it was like 11 o'clock and that would have been 8 o'clock, whatever. And I went to the back of the plane and I was on the phone with Kevin and Bean and we're on the air. And it was right in the middle of it. And then naturally there was turbulence and they started flashing the seatbelt sign, like go back to your seats and sit down. But I was on the air on a radio station and I didn't want to get off the phone. And so, of course, I was standing back there trying to have this conversation while they were flashing the, go back to your seats. And, of course, there was no context to it. Someone thought I was talking to my girlfriend or something. Didn't want to get off the phone, but I was on the air, and I was like, I'm on the plane. And the stewardess, as we called them back at the time, walked to the back of the plane, and she was just standing there in front of me. And she's like, sir, you have to go sit down. You can't stand here. And I looked at her and I went, you're standing here. Why? We're both just standing here. I was like Spicoli wanting to have some pizza in Mr. Hand's class. I was like, you're standing here. I'm standing here. Why is it inherently dangerous for me to stand here, but you can stand here telling me not to stand here? That didn't go over well for her. Or me, but I remember that conversation from the Kevin and Bean show the following day. It must have been Letterman must have been like on a Wednesday or a Thursday or something like that. It must have been. It wouldn't have been on a Friday, but it's definitely like midweek. Right. And then I called on the ride home. All right, so that's my recollections of my first Letterman appearance in 1999. I was watching CNN a couple days ago, and I realized I never have to watch CNN for more than 4 minutes to see something that's insane. And they were doing an expose on a nursing home in Florida that lost a bunch of patients. And they were digging into the whole sort of COVID death porn part of the whole part of it. And I'm going to share it with you because, as you guys know, I've been screaming about the ages. What were the ages of the people who died? There's just, I don't know what happened. It's the death of math. I don't know. Look, when somebody has a son and that son dies at 16, it's a major catastrophe. It's as bad as a thing. It's the worst thing that could ever happen to a family.
Yeah.
But when Nana dies at 86, nobody feels that way. They feel, all right, she lived a good life, So that's kind of the difference between young and old dying. And so CNN was doing this whole thing about the tragic loss of life, and they chose a nursing home. And I want you to pay attention to the ages of the people and listen to the gravitas of the reporter.
Eunice Angeloni was a Londoner. She met her husband, Grimaldo, during World War II.
All right, pause it. All right, she's 95. She's 95. 95 years of age. She met her husband during World War II, not after World War II. She met her husband during the digging of the Panama Canal. She's 95 years old. She's in a nursing home. You know what the over-under is on a nursing home when you're 95? It's about 17 days. That's about how long you last in a fucking nursing home. But all right, keep making your point, CNN.
And eventually she came back to America with him to raise a family. She died on April 30th. 2 days later, Avis Lilly died.
98! She's 98 years old!
Oh, boy.
I don't want to live in
All right, pause it. The average American lives to 78. I'm not sure what point you're trying to drive home here, CNN, but you started off with 95. You've gone to 98. The third person is 85. These are all older than the average death. This is all older than the average American dies.
The only emotion I feel right now is jealousy.
Right.
98?
95, 98, 85. Sorry, go ahead, Max.
I've tried. I'm done. 48 hours later, Alice Ford died. Louise Johnson
90.
passed away, as did Harry Nash.
79,
who was
75.
A shop owner who spent a lot of his time usually winning chess matches there. The next day, Beverly Dickman died.
86.
24 hours later, 5 people died, including
92.
Russell Dowden. He was a magician who was still performing balloon animal shows twice a week.
All right, you can pause it for a second. He's 92. He liked balloons. He'll perform for. What's the plan, CNN? Nobody ever dies? Is that the thing? You've just did an expose on a bunch of people who died who are well older than most people are when they die, and you explaining what they like. I don't know how that factors in. I
think it humanizes them, but they don't need humanizing. They're people who died.
Also,
go the extra step.
I think it's safe to say that almost everyone who's alive likes some shit.
Mm-hmm.
All right, but
earlier in the report, you talked about a guy.
How should I know?
At the end, she goes, "He was a Cubs fan."
What are the kids going to do for the parties with no old guy doing balloon animals?
They should be honest and be like, well, Earl's friend said he cheated at Chinese checkers and he really loved taco night.
He loved the boys. So I'm sorry.
The misguided part is that at the bottom, the chyron at the bottom, there it is. 2,800 and change dead from COVID, most in a single day of a pandemic. That's dramatic. That's interesting. I'm sure some of those people were youngish people. Perhaps profile them. And like, if you're trying to make this more dramatic or more whatever, there's your angle. Like a bunch of, not to be heartless, but a bunch of, residence home senior citizens. That's sad, but
it's not that sad. 96 and 98 is not that sad. But first things first, you weren't playing beach volleyball when you were struck down with COVID. You're in a nursing home. By the time if you're 98 and you're in a nursing home, that's it. You're
quality
done.
Of life, by definition, is less than it was.
Well, that's why you're there.
It's not less than it was. It's 4% of what it was. Like, you are in a nursing home at age 98. You go to die. Nursing homes are where you go when you can't take care of yourself anymore, or your family can't take care of you. Like that. You go to the nursing home to die. That's what you do. No one hangs out for 7 years in a nursing home. There's elderly, there's places in Florida where people play golf and backgammon and shit. But if you're 98 or 95 or 85 or 90, as the first 4 were, and you're in a nursing home, you are going there. The over-under's 9 months, I would say. But anyway, we'll play it out. Go ahead.
Who was still performing balloon animal shows twice a week.
Oh, he'll be missed.
And Patricia Lewandowski died after 25 days on a ventilator. That was one horrific month at one nursing home. 32 had died. 32 of the 273,000 Americans who have died from this pandemic.
I don't get journalism anymore. If first off, this person must have studied journalism, got a job at CNN. You have to work with your producer. If I was producing this bit and the first person you put up was 95 and the second person you put up was 98, I'd go, what is this story? What are we doing here?
What is the point you're trying to make?
What point are we trying to make? Who here wouldn't want to make it to 95 or 98?
What a blessing.
I would like my parents to make it that. I mean, I'm already jealous that they had healthy people in their lives till they were 98.
Yes, the average age of the person on the screen, and again, not sure what their point was, but whatever their point was, they fucking torpedoed it. Average age was 87 and a half. So you put a bunch of people on the screen who lived 10 years longer than the average American. And that's your point. And then you explain what they like to do. By the way, liking to play chess at a liquor store doing balloon animals for kids. It's not Elon Musk. Put it to you that way. It's okay stuff. But yes,
the time.
Everybody likes stuff, and everyone is a Cubs fan or they have a favorite band they like. But this isn't
How would
news.
I know that?
Except for my mom doesn't. This is not news. You saying with a heavy heart that these people are gone. Yes, everyone dies in a nursing home. I got news for CNN. Everyone dies eventually. Like, when you see, Mount Rushmore or a painting of George Washington crossing the Delaware.
Any of those people are alive.
They're not alive. They die. People die. That's how it works. If your decree is nobody should die ever, then it's going to be a tough slog. It's going to be really tough. And again, probably shouldn't be making a news story over super old people who are already compromised because they're in a nursing home. That's where people go to die. Dr. Drew talks to me about all times. You don't want to go into a nursing home. You just want to die at home. Like, you don't want that world. You don't want to just fucking lay there for...
Well, why does he say that? I'm curious.
Because it's brutal. The nursing home, I don't think people really know what's going on in a nursing home. It's fucking brutal. You're just going there to die. It's just a shitty, you have your life and then it's the shittiest last 9 months you could imagine. And then you die there. That's what it appears. All right. Let's see. We got the Rotten Tomatoes game to play. First, I'll tell you about Lids. Need the perfect gift this season? Lids has them. Officially licensed sports gear or iconic brands like Nike, Adidas, and Champion. Lids is North America's largest hat retailer. Visit any Lids store and an associate will help you find the perfect cap for anyone on your holiday gift list. Lids is the leader in headwear, including all authentic MLB on-field caps, NFL sideline caps, and knits, plus huge variety of fashion styles, colors, and they have it all over at Lids exclusives as well. Visit lidsloyal.com/Adam. That's lidsloyal.com/Adam for 25% off your next in-store purchase. Perfect gift waiting for you. I'm wearing my Rams lid right now. Is it Lids, right, Dawson?
Visit lidsloyal.com/Adam for your 25% off coupon for your next in-store purchase.
All right, let's see. We'll take a break. We got the Rotten Tomatoes game to play right after this.
Listen to that noise. It's a high falsetto voice. It can only mean one thing, and you can feel it.
Dawson names her flicks, and the gang makes their picks. Guessing if it's rotten or fresh.
If they guess it exactly, we'll get a bonus 5.
It's the Rotten Tomatoes game. You know how we do it. Give me the Rotten Tomatoes game. Now it's time to play it.
All right, we got one more clip from the CNN report that Chris reminded me of, so we'll play it for you here.
2 days after that, Donna Mortensen died, who almost reached her goal to live to 100 years old.
Well, her goal should have been live to 1,000. All right, thank you, CNN. She died. She died. She almost made it to 100. This is a tragedy. This is heartbreaking. You're right. Close down all the schools, close down all the parks, close down all the outdoor dining because somebody in Florida came up 3 days short of their 100th birthday. You're right. That's good. That's just fucking good news. That is great reporting. Thank you. Thank you for that. Thank you for that information. Oh, I will use that information. Oh, boy, am I going to use that to my benefit. This shall shape all further thinking. All the thoughts by the way, all this shit makes me less scared of COVID. Hearing a bunch of fucking people that average 91 years old dying of COVID in a nursing home, I'm now less fearful of COVID. Thank you, dumb reporter. All right, what do you got, Dawson?
Well, back in March, and again in August, we dedicated the Rotten Tomatoes game to famous people who've contracted COVID-19. Well, it's been another 4 months. Now it's time to check in on who's resting peacefully. Not resting in peace, just resting peacefully. After catching the Rona, here's another round dedicated to COVID coughing celebs. We begin with Robert Pattinson. Production on the new Batman movie shut down a second time after patty cakes tested positive. He's become a huge star over the last 15 years or so. Hard to believe it was all the way back in 2008 when he burst on the scene as a sparkling vampire heartthrob based on the best-selling book series from 2008, Twilight.
Never saw it.
I saw this in the theater. I'll tell you with all honesty, this is one of my least favorite movies, not of that year, of all time. I really, really hated this movie.
Doesn't mean it didn't get a good score on Rotten Tomatoes. So this is the first one, huh?
Yeah. And Robert Pattinson got pigeonholed as that, vampire kid, the good-looking kid from Twilight. But he's a legit, really good actor. He will be nominated for an Oscar someday.
All right.
I mean, if he doesn't die, of COVID.
Wasn't the Twilight series written by just a random woman who does fan fiction? Like, it's not from what I understand, it's not like
something like that.
Mixed message from Bryan.
Also, Robert Pattinson has gone on to be a great actor in the ensuing 15 years. He was terrible in this. Everyone was terrible in this. They fired the director for the sequel. The movie made fucking $300 million, but how often does that happen?
All right. So, big movie, big money, big everything. But what did the critics say about it? Bryan hated it. But what does that mean? I can't imagine the critics hated it, although this is a hateable movie. Good-looking vampires is always weird. I'm going to say rotten at 57.
Oh, my God, look at that. Rotten at 59.
Wow. Rotten at 55.
Wow.
Twilight is rotten at 49.
All right.
And by the way, the woman who wrote the Twilight novels has had zero prior experience. Stephanie Meyer.
Like Stephanie Meyer, yeah.
Charlie Hunnam made his big break with the TV series Sons of Anarchy, but before being diagnosed with COVID-19, he also popped up in tons of movies, from Children of Men to The Gentleman to the recent remakes of King Arthur and Papillon. What we really need in this time of division are giant robots fighting monstrous sea creatures. Charlie Hunnam co-stars alongside Idris Elba in Guillermo del Toro's epic film from 2013. It was called Pacific Rim.
Saw this in the theater.
Yeah, I think I saw this. Kind of interesting movie. Trying to think of what the critics thought of it. I don't know if it had some sort of overtones or something was political or something. Bryan?
Take this for what it's worth. This was one of the most disappointing movies I've ever seen because Guillermo del Toro has this great pedigree, great movies. The trailer was fantastic. These giant fucking robots beating each other to death, beating like monsters to death. Ended up being pretty disappointing. Now, where the critics fall, that's for you to guess.
I don't think the critics could have liked it, but sometimes these movies end up being a metaphor for something and they vibe on it. So that's the only chance something like this. Or if there was some sort of message about ecologies, we used to say, there's some like the monsters were born because the ocean was too warm because of the greenhouse gases. You get a few points.
That's kind of Avatar-y, right?
Yes, I guess.
Like the deforestation.
I got bad news. There's no message. The monsters escape from underground or some other dimension or something.
Good cast, though.
All right. I saw this. It's kind of fun, but can't be fresh. I'm going to say that the critics had it rotten at 48.
I went a little high, and I think it's overrated. I took a chance, 71.
Oh, boy. 52.
Ryan, you said it was the worst movie ever made. How do you go into the 70s?
That's not the case.
Jesus.
Well, guess what? Pacific Rim is fresh at 72.
Oh, God, why do I listen? I love
Bryan,
and I get burned.
That was masterful. That was great. That was like Jerry Rice running around.
Oh, my God. He completely fucking did the okey doke. The okey doke, I tell you.
That was hockey. That was the dream shuffle or the dream shake from Hakeem Olajuwon.
I listened to you. All right.
It really is disappointing.
Yeah.
Vanessa Williams, who was once crowned Miss America, was nominated 3 times for Emmys for her role in the TV series Ugly Betty. Made headlines. She made headlines again after revealing she'd fallen ill during previews of a play she was performing in London. But perhaps her finest performance was playing a whistleblower with evidence of a major arms deal involving terrorists. Everyone wants her dead. Thankfully, John the Eraser Kruger is on the case.
Oh, yeah.
Schwarzenegger, James Caan, and James Coburn star in 1996's Eraser.
True story. I hated this movie.
Okay, nobody cares.
Saw it in the theater.
I've never heard of this movie.
This movie had the scene that every third action movie ever had when someone was trapped in a house, and they're like trapped in a house, and the bad guys pull up in the SUVs and they're just spraying the house with bullets, and the bullets are just flying over the house, and they always go, "Get down!" And the guy lays on top of the chick. By the way, you spray the house with bullets, go low, would you please? At least you'll kneecap someone.
They're not hiding in the chandelier.
They're always shooting waist up, and the person's always laying on the floor, and they're crawling through the living room. And all the bullets are flying out about 4 foot, 47, 48 inches, I think. And they're just crawling. There's never a stray bullet that goes down. It's always chest up. So they crawl, and then at some point they do the move where they go into the kitchen, and they pull the gas hose off the stove.
Yes.
Blow the whole place up. They pull it off, and it's like, and then they'll do some move. They'll like light a cigarette and put it there like it's a slow fuse or something. And then they go, "Get down!" And then they like crawl out, and then they jump, and then the whole house blows up. That was every third action movie I ever thought. Like, I was always like, if the shit really goes down, I can always go into the kitchen, yank the hose on the gas stove, and light a cigarette and crawl to safety and just blow up the entire block. That's how it worked.
While not a classic, this would be good for a basic cable commentary because there is quietly a crazy number of absurd things that happen in this movie.
I don't even remember.
At one point, I think he gets injured on his arm or his hand and then proceeds to shoot a plasma gun. Like he's firing pure energy into the enemies.
I don't remember a lot about it. I just remember that blow up the house scene, which they had in every movie. Also, if I was shooting up a house and I just went waist high with the bullets, I wouldn't come rushing in because that always means you're going to get blown up.
Right.
All right. Not good. How bad? I need to pick up a few points. I'm going to call it rotten at 22.
Oh, wow. Yeah, you might pick up a few points. I went a little higher. Right around this era, or like the 6th day, was when the people started to turn on Schwarzenegger and the same old, same old. So I went 43.
29.
Eraser is rotten.
Oh, yeah.
At 38.
Ooh.
Okay.
A little higher than I would like to see. All right, we got a game here, people.
The whole world held its breath when we heard Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson got COVID back in September. Thankfully, the masks were on when we all exhaled after hearing he was fine. In 2020, we take it for granted that Dwayne Johnson is a mega star who can open just about any movie, but back in 2004, it wasn't a guarantee. Early on in his acting career, he starred in this remake of the 1973 Joe Don Baker classic, co-starring Johnny Knoxville, and one seriously intimidating 2x4. From 2004, Walking Tall.
Never saw it.
Saw it.
Done this one?
Yeah, I saw it. It's okay. It's kind of, it's funny, like the original Walking Tall, he had a 2x4. And it was so funny, like what little you needed to provide for entertainment in the 70s. Like Joe Don Baker is Sheriff Pusser. Buford, what was his name? Buford Puss or something like that. And then they just show a scene of him going like, hey, that's a sweet pickup truck. And then he'd smash the windshield with the 2x4, and they're like, Joe Don Baker. It's like, You imagine an action film where the big action gag was you broke a windshield in a pickup truck with a 2x4. Like and they show him like clearing the bar with the 2x4 and smacking a guy over the back with it. It was like he fought with a 2x4. And it was like, it was a big deal. I don't know why. I don't know what was novel. I mean, it was novel, but I don't think it's effective if someone has a gun. For instance, I don't think you can ward off bullets with that 2x4. What was his name?
You were right, Buford Pusser.
Buford Pusser.
Wow.
Buford Pusser's got a 2x4, and he's dinging Ford F-150 doors in with it. Woo! He's walking tall. He's not.
What is the premise of this movie?
He walks and he's tall, Gina. Jesus.
Every one of these, I think it was based on a true story. Every one of these stories from the 70s was all the same, which is like, it's a true story. It's based on, okay. There's some small town sheriff, and then, of course, there's the kind of mafiosa type who's running everything in the town.
Right.
And he's like, listen, you know the rules. You play by the rules or you don't get hurt. And then at some point, the sheriff would pick up a 2x4 and go, I play by my own rules. And it was like one man against, all these marauding mafiosa types. So it's that
one
story.
man in a tree branch. Okay.
Right.
Adam, this movie also features the scene where they shoot a bunch of bullets and then you just have to get low to dodge them.
Yeah, every movie, every third movie, if you crawled on the ground, all the bullets would fly over your head.
Yeah.
All right. The Rock is charismatic, was kind of fun, had some stuff going for it. The first was a popular movie, but I don't know. It was kind of a culty classic. I don't know if it was a big international success. And I think the critics would be okay at 44.
Oh.
Just a little higher. I remember someone telling me, this is not a bad movie, so I went just shy of fresh at 58.
Mm-hmm.
I went just barely fresh at 66.
Walking Tall is rotten at 26%.
Oh, that's got to sting.
Good night,
That
everybody.
hurts all around.
Wow. All right. We added to the points, but I picked up a few, and now we're coming into the championship rounds pretty knotted up here.
Finally, Tiffany Haddish told Dr. Fauci that she was tested more than 12 times over the summer and that she had tested positive once during that time. She's been hard at work since making her major film debut back in 2016. Back then, she played a gangster named High C, attempting to help out characters played by Key and Peele as they infiltrate a dangerous street gang to get back their beloved kitten. From 2016, Keanu.
I thought this was really funny. I've seen
There's a few really good scenes in this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a few really good scenes in it. It didn't hold together as an overall film for me, but it had some funny scenes in it.
Yeah.
I think the critics like Key and Peele, and this is sort of interesting enough, and you got a little the affirmative action angle working here. So I'm thinking they gave it a decent score. Now this is tough because we're all pretty close here.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the kind of movie, depending on, the critics can be a little fickle, but I think they like Key and Peele. And, this is the kind of thing that this could be a high 70s, low 80s kind of situation here, but it could also...
Yeah, everything's set up for this movie. It's got two very popular, timely, comic actors. The show was super popular at the time.
Yes, Bryan, thank you.
Could also be this could also be a low 60s. There's about a 20-point gap here.
If Adam falls for it, it's his fault.
I don't think this was a great movie, but I think the critics wanted to like it. And for that reason, I say fresh at 71.
I'm really close to you, man. I remember this being kind of well received for a stoner comedy. 73.
See, I would love for it to be 73. I love this movie, but I didn't have the faith in it that you guys do. I said 61.
Keanu is certified fresh.
Yes.
At 77%.
Whoa! I'm shocked.
And the people have it at 55. So this got some affirmative action points. There's no doubt about it. All right.
What
This
was
is
your score in the last one?
Mine was 71, so it's a close
Wow.
game here.
Adam Carolla coming in with a score of 72. Congratulations, you made the podium. Bald Bryan, your score is different than that. Gina Grad got a 91.
Yeah.
Gina put you firmly in the podium.
Yeah, they got
You're
the
in
Bryans.
it, but not to win it, because that person is Bryan. He got 52.
Oh,
I knew
wow.
that.
We're way out.
It's the Rotten Tomatoes game. You know how we do it.
Wow, there's a bigger chasm there than I was expecting.
Yeah, Bryan quietly had 3 single-digit rounds.
Really?
Yeah.
Not so quiet anymore, loudmouth. Now we all know.
Blabbed.
All right, let me hit the BetterHelp there. Overwhelmed, anxious, depressed, BetterHelp online. Licensed professional counselors are trained to listen and help. Therapy, it's very important these days. God, especially what's going on out there in the real world. You need to get your head right, and then you can get the rest of your world going. Anxiety, grief, depression, relationship conflicts, difficulty sleeping, anger, family conflicts, self-esteem, and more. Fill out a questionnaire to assess your needs. Get matched in under 48 hours. Easily schedule secure video or phone sessions, plus exchange unlimited messages. Everything shared is confidential. If for any reason you're unhappy with your counselor, you can request a new one at any time for no charge. Join the over 1 million people using BetterHelp. And let's get your head right for the new year. It's BetterHelp, right, Dawson?
BetterHelp is an affordable option, and our listeners get 10% off your first month with the discount code Carolla. Get started today at BetterHelp.com/Carolla. That's BetterHelp.com/Carolla. Talk to a therapist online and get help.
All right. Let's take a break, and we'll come back and do the news with Gina Grad right after this.
Give me the news with Grad. News with Gina Grad. Breaking viral, all those crazy Trump tweets. Give me news with Gina Grad. Trouble in the Middle East. Celebrity drunk meltdowns. Deep news with Gina Grad.
The news with Gina Grad.
So we'll start with a little bit of local news, but it will definitely dovetail into some other things. The stay-at-home order that they threatened would kick in has kicked in here for Southern California. This is as of Sunday night at 11:59 p.m. So as we record this, you guys want to run out, get your hair cut, get your nails did, go sit outside at a restaurant patio, do it quick. And that kicked in because any region that has less than 15% bed availability at a hospital triggers this new order. And now that's where we're at. So here's what's going down. And it'll remain in place for the next 3 weeks, and then they'll reevaluate or they won't. Bars, wineries, personal care services must close. Restaurants halt all dining. Gatherings of people from different households prohibited. And let's see, restaurants will be allowed to offer takeouts and, delivery only. Retail business will be limited to 20% customer capacity indoors. Stores will be required to ensure that there's no indoor eating or drinking of any kind. Card rooms closed because we don't have really casinos down here. So card rooms closed. Hotels not allowed to accept tourists. Entertainment productions and professional sports will be continued. They will be allowed without live audiences. Now, I'm sure he won't be the only one, but just to let you know, Riverside County, which is a county over from us here in LA, the county sheriff, Chad Bianco, said they're not enforcing this and that it's flat out ridiculous. So go to Riverside if you want to, get a little freedom.
Or Pasadena or Orange County. There's nothing going on. And Orange in Pasadena, everyone's just eating outside. I've been there with Drew. We had a steak the other day. It's just, you're out there. You're just doing it how they used to do it.
Well, Pasadena gets to play by their own rules, as does Long Beach, and a lot of cities are following suit. So, yeah, Pasadena does kind of get to do their own thing. Now, there's a bar owner. This video went viral for good reason. It's been it's been sent to me, I don't know how many times in the last 24 hours. Adam, have you ever been to because I'm sure that probably Bryan hasn't. I have. Did you ever used to go to the bar Pineapple Hill in the Valley?
No. was that?
It's a great bar. It's in Sherman Oaks. I can't remember the cross street, but we used to go there when I first moved here. It's a cool little bar, a little hole in the wall. And the owner is incredibly upset, as she should be, because the outdoor dining ban is in effect. And she has this lovely sort of outdoor setting that she made in a parking lot, but it's really nice looking and, follows all the state orders as they were. Well, now that is completely shut down. However, there's the ultimate irony in the mandate. There's a little surprise not 20 feet away from her. The video is about 2 minutes, but it's so self-explanatory. It's best just to let her show you what's going on. So this is the video that's going around. She's the owner of Pineapple Hill.
Show the front of her bar.
So this is my place, the Pineapple Hill Grill and Saloon. If you go to my page, you can see all the work I did for outdoor dining, for tables being 7 feet apart. And I come in today because I'm organizing a protest, and I came in to get stuff for that. And I walk into my parking lot, and obviously Mayor Garcetti has approved this.
It's very cinematic, by the way.
I know.
Has approved
Big tent with all the tables set
this
up.
being set up for
craft service.
This being set up for a movie company.
And it looks just like outdoor dining with the tents and the tables.
Yeah.
And watch look what hers looks like.
I'm losing everything. Everything I own is being taken away from me. And they set up a movie company right next to my outdoor patio, which is right over here.
It's 20, 30 feet away.
Same structure.
Looks exactly the same, only
Right.
a little cuter.
And people wonder why I'm protesting and why I have had enough. They have not given us money and they have shut us down. We cannot survive. My staff cannot survive. Look at this.
Same setup.
Yeah, same
Cheers.
setup.
Tell me that this is dangerous, but right next to me as a slap in my face,
The same structure.
that's safe. This is safe. 50 feet away. This is dangerous. Mayor Garcetti and Gavin Newsom is responsible for every single person that doesn't have unemployment, that does not have a job, and all the businesses that are going under. And we need your help. We need somebody to do something about this.
Sad. Yeah, I talked to Mark Geragos on Friday, and the judge is letting his lawsuit move forward, him representing the restaurateurs and going against the city of Los Angeles. And, it's funny. It's an interesting thing, which is so the city has its own, legal department, but they're not using their own legal department to fight Mark Geragos and the outdoor dining. They're paying another law firm. So
that's damning.
Yes. Not only that, but I said to Mark Geragos, I said, what if you were a private business and the judge upheld this thing, basically saying, well, now it's incumbent upon the city of L.A. Now they must prove why it's dangerous to eat outside. So the judge said, all right, city of L.A., if you're going to shut down outdoor dining, then you need to come up with some data as to why that's dangerous. Otherwise, we're going to have to rescind that. And any other entity, if you ran a private business, now would be the time that you would cut bait and move on, because you wouldn't want to keep paying attorneys. You're throwing good money after bad at this point, right? But the city of Los Angeles, we're paying the attorneys. That's our fucking tax money is going to pay the fucking attorneys for outside counsel to fight this thing to keep us shut down. That's what they're going to do.
Unlimited budget.
They have an unlimited budget, and they're going to keep fighting this thing. And they're not going to come up with anything good because they don't have any data. They can't produce anything. So Mark's going to know something later on today or maybe tomorrow. It depends. So we're going to keep you updated on it. But that's where we're at. There's some magical thing about eating outdoors. And again, the parks, eating outdoors, schools, the beach, there's nothing going on there. Just focus on the places there are things going on, and then you can focus your energy, and people will tend to trust you more because it's the arbitrary randomness of it all makes everyone go, oh, fuck it. Right. Mixed with a large number of you people who are making policy getting caught going out to eat. That's also undermining your point.
And not only that, which is like, well, how can we listen to you when you think this is a joke? And also the people, if you're not going to let someone work, you have to take care of them. But instead, every single person, every single inmate in the county correctional system ended up duping the unemployment department into sending them thousands of dollars. So there's really nothing left for anyone who lost their business. And I'm oversimplifying, but that's the story. Now, the woman that we just heard from was obviously very sincere and very measured. We have another video from someone who is not known for their for holding it in and just kind of letting their feelings bubble under the surface. You'll know who this is the moment I play it, expressing some frustration that the flea market over on Fairfax and Melrose, that famous flea market, is still open when the restaurants can't be. I think you'll recognize the voice.
Yo, look at this shit. The fucking Melrose Fairfax Farmers Market is popping. And I have no problem with all these people making their money and making a living. But how the fuck is this okay? But right across the street, all the cafes, all the restaurants are shut down. Look at this shit. Get your money. But who's making the decisions here? Garcetti, you fuck. Gavin Newsom with the fucking good hair. You fuck, look, they got the music playing and all this shit. This shit don't make any fucking sense. This don't make any fucking sense. This is why motherfuckers are pissed off and protesting.
By the way, you know, we get this thing, it's like hospitals at 90%, hospitals at 85%. I don't remember the exact numbers, but a hospital's a business, and they want to operate at 85 or 90%, just like if you ran a restaurant before COVID or hotel or skating rink. Like you want to be at that capacity. You know, if you have a club or a hotel's a great example. You would like your hotel to be full. Hospitals make their businesses. They make money. They want to hover at that point. So like when they go, the hospitals are at 87% capacity. It's like, yeah, that's where they're at. That's where they want to be at. Now there's a point where where you pass a number, and that's bad. But when you go, like, you know, they're between 85 and 90% full, that's where they want to be. That's what hospitals do. That's their business. All right, sorry. Go ahead, Gina.
That means their stuff's being used.
The tragedy. Oh, can I say one thing? The tragedy of that first video, the woman's video, is she's right. It's unfair, and there's no practical difference, right, between that setup and her setup. We saw it with our own eyes. It's effectively the same with a few minor differences. The difference is that, like, they have made this they being the legislature has made this blanket thing where you can't eat outdoors at a restaurant, but they highly regulate, like, the entertainment industry. Like, I have people in production, friends who are in production, who get tested 2, 3, 4 times a week because they're heavily regulated. Now, if they did something like that or found a solution similar to that for the kitchen staff, which is where all the cases are coming from, maybe we keep the restaurants open, a little bit of forward thinking or a little bit of creative thinking. But no, it's just a blanket order, and that's frankly unfair.
Well, you know what's interesting about that, Bryan, with the whole Sheila Kuehl thing, you know, eating at the restaurant after she passed she was the deciding vote, essentially, to shut down the restaurants, and all of the restaurant talk. And I, up until Friday, worked in the news department every night. No one's mentioned the kitchen staff. The kitchen staff doesn't come up. It's all about the server and the people sitting at the table.
Yeah. But then we saw those stats. We saw the stats when it came out.
I didn't see the stats. What were the stats?
That. It was buried at the article I read from the LA, possibly the LA Times, it doesn't matter. Buried at the bottom of the article, literally burying the lead, was, you know, there restaurants have accounted for 2,800, COVID cases. Of those, 22,795 have been traced back to the kitchen staff. I mean, it's right there. It's getting spread in the kitchen. It's not getting spread outdoors. Everyone outdoors is perfectly safe. They're all breathing the same air, under touching the same things.
Yeah.
Well, I think there's another strata here, which is, who are the kitchen staff in Los Angeles? They're poor Hispanic people, and they live together in small apartment buildings, 6, 7 at a time. So a lot of it is how you're living, who you're living with, and what that environment is. So when you think about cultures, for instance, for the most part, white people don't like their parents or grandparents. They certainly sure as fuck don't want to live with them. You think about the Hispanic culture. You think about that kitchen staff. Kitchen staff is probably 92% Hispanic in Los Angeles. All the people doing the prep and the cook and the cleaning and all that stuff is all Hispanic. They're all family-oriented, and they're not rich by any stretch of the imagination, and rent is super expensive in Los Angeles. So they live all those apartment buildings you pass by in, Koreatown and Wilshire, Koreatown, all that. When you see those packed apartment buildings where everything's like out on the balcony and stuff, those are a family of 7 or 8 people living in this one, 900 square foot 2-bedroom apartment. So it's getting passed around in that confined space as well. I don't even know how much is going on actually in the kitchen versus what's going on at home. And also there's generations of families all sort of living together in a very small space. All right.
Well, and remember, oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say they wanted to do this by county. Counties are huge. LA County is gigantic. And they said, it's basically like the sing-songy teacher, like, well, when one of you gets in trouble, let that be a lesson to the rest of you, that kind of thing where, well, if your numbers are so high, maybe you'll take it seriously now that we're saying the whole county has to shut down. But if you broke it up by zip code, you would see, like you're saying, that the area that the cases are concentrated are very concentrated. In, one side of the county to the other, you wouldn't even, it's non-existent, say on the west side.
Right.
Compared to the east side.
So on the west side, Beverly Hills or Orange County, you have people living in you have a husband and wife living alone in 9,000 square foot.
Right.
You go to the other part of the county, you have you have 9 people living inside of 850 square feet. Obviously, there's going to be a transmission situation going on. Right. Plus, I hear the virus doesn't like Carrara marble. And yeah, it's proven. Look, Google it. If you have enough Carrara marble in your entryway,
it can't survive.
It dies right on that marble. All right, let me hit Skrewball peanut butter whiskey. Holidays are going to look different this year. Mix up your cocktails too. Skrewball peanut butter whiskey, the ultimate duo, American whiskey and peanut butter flavor. Sweet meets savory with a light, smooth finish. At 70 proof, I should say. You enjoy it neat. You can do it on the rocks. You can do it as a shot. You can replace the usual whiskey and cocktails with Skrewball. We always have it here for the Christmas party, and it's always a fan and crowd favorite. Get a whole new experience. Top off a big scoop of ice cream, or that's pretty damn nice. Also great for date night. Or add it to coffee, hot chocolate, eggnog for a festive treat. It's Skrewball peanut butter whiskey, right, Dawson?
Skrewball, the original and most awarded peanut butter whiskey, is now available near you. Pick up Skrewball at your local store or get it delivered today. Ready to hashtag get screwed? Go to SkrewballWhiskey.com for more info and click on the Buy Now button. Please drink responsibly. Advertisement by Skrewball Spirits, LLC, San Diego, California. Whiskey with natural flavors, 35% alcohol by volume.
All right, what else we got, Gina?
Right. Well, we'll do 1.5 more COVID stories because one of them is actually really interesting. But it did come out today. This isn't the interesting one, by the way. It did come out today that Rudy Giuliani has tested positive for COVID, which and then I saw everyone else on Twitter made the same joke, which is, do you get gassy Is that a sign of having COVID? I don't know if you saw, and I'm sorry I didn't have Kaylin pull it. Did you hear the fart heard around the world?
Oh, I did not. Is that
Kaylin,
Giuliani? Giuliani, this has been a rough 17 days for Giuliani.
With the Just for Men and the Borat.
It's just been a shit show for Giuliani.
I can't believe I didn't tell him to pull it. I'm
I
sorry.
didn't,
Please tell me when you have it.
Yeah, pull that finger. No, I did
So
not hear it.
awkward.
Now, is it going to be good or is it a mystery Mike? Could have been a chair squeak kind of fart.
It's real because it's not obvious. Like at first I was like, that somebody dubbed that in, but it's just subtle enough to, if somebody was really trying to overdo it, they would do, like a trombone. But this
wasn't
was
there
like,
a woman next
yes.
to him who kind of reacted
and shot him a look like you can't stop yourself, like her muscle, like involuntary muscles just looked at him. It's subtle enough where you're like, that poor schmuck.
Yeah.
So please tell me when you have that, but while you're looking for that, I'll tell you this. This is really interesting. You know how Brian May is a genius from Queen?
I guess, yeah.
Not only
hair
is he
bugs
a
me.
brilliant musician,
I guess.
he's a doctor of astrophysics.
Oh, right.
He's like
I didn't know about that.
Yeah.
So he is putting down his guitar and is trying to get involved with saving COVID in a way that I think you will really like. He is a doctor of astrophysics, and he says he woke up one morning with the ghost of an idea, a way to try, and we have some video, but it's okay if you're looking for the other thing, a way to design an airflow system to make theaters and arenas safe enough in the pandemic situation to allow concerts as we used to know them all take place. So we, a small team comprising of me, a Cambridge professor, and 2 top airflow experts from London CO2 Arena, met, socially distanced, of course, at the Apollo to study its ventilation system and test some theories. It's early days and there are big problems to solve, but if we succeed even in part, it could be a move towards saving the concerts that we miss so much. So he's getting together, and there is video of this, there it is, this sort of airflow system they're trying to figure out just to get this pumping through arenas and theaters so we don't have to do the who was it that did the OK Go or Flaming Lips, so we all get to stand in our own hamster wheel or whatever. Right.
This would be good
So
if
he's actually
Giuliani
working
rips
on it.
another fart, that positive airflow, sucking it right down into the grate.
Put her in a seat.
We have the fart. I mean, again, this is going to be the gift that keeps on giving after COVID, because again, farting, BO, sweating, belching, all the shit that goes on at an event where you're chugging beers. All right, we have it.
The answer. Point of order. The answer that I gave you is they didn't bother to interview a single witness. Just like you, they don't want to know the truth. Well, you probably know the truth.
Well, we have to see that again. But the woman did look. Now, he was talking, so she would have been looking anyway. But let's see if she gave a real look.
She shot him a look.
I got to see it. It's small on my screen. I got to be honest with you. It's 12 feet
He
away
doesn't
and it's
skip a
small.
beat, by
I
the
got to
way.
look at it.
Yeah.
You don't acknowledge your own fart. That's a fool's errand.
It's a rookie move.
Yeah. We'll try
The
that.
answer. Point of order. The answer that I gave you is they didn't bother to interview a single witness. Just like you, they don't want to know the truth. Well, you probably know the truth.
That seemed like a fart, and she seemed like she looked. Is that AJ Benza's
cousin?
Yeah, that's AJ Benza's cousin. Now that's a fart.
That's a fart. Nothing better. All right, what else we got, Gina?
Well, I'm glad you brought up AJ because remember last time he was on and we were talking about, he, I think, brought up the Zappos guy and how he thinks there's some hinky business going on with this house fire.
Yeah.
Well, because it's AJ, he's never far off from what we end up finding out as the truth. So I found a little more info on this house fire because I was very curious. And AJ had mentioned that he doesn't think that this was a random accidental fire. Well, it was and it wasn't. So according to Fox, Mr. Shea, who owns Zappos, he was 46. He died November 27th, 9 days after firefighters were called to his home in New London, Connecticut, where he was staying. The Connecticut medical examiner has ruled death an accident, but not just like a random, wire short circuited. So he was kind of a party guy. Mr. Shea spoke often about partying. That's the central figure of his work and his life, drinking, drug use. He also grappled with isolation and depression because of the pandemic. He allegedly also had a longstanding fascination with fire and became fixated on he had like 1,000 burning candles around his house. He became fixated with finding out what the body could live without, started starving himself. He whittled to under 100 pounds. He would try not to urinate. He would deprive himself of oxygen. He would turn on nitrous oxide, and it could induce hypoxia. He was increasingly away from his longtime friends and family in San Francisco and Vegas, and was surrounded by this new group of like yes men that would indulge all this crazy behavior. According to his friends, the new group included some former Zappos employees who also moved in with him into his house and were taking advantage of his living situation and collecting salaries for doing nothing. So it seems like there was this guy was troubled as opposed to just a random electrical fire.
Nothing you said would
That's what
indicate
AJ
trouble.
No, you're right. I might have been.
Yeah,
I was projecting. Editorializing.
You can't be too. You got to be into either candles or booze. You can't really be into both. If you're into a lot of booze and a lot of candles, it's going to be an issue. You know what I mean? Like the Hasidim, they're into candles, but they're not into booze. You know
That's
what
right.
I mean? And
their hair and clothing are so flammable, they have to be careful.
You got to be sober. And then like the Irish are into booze, but not so into candles. So that's fine. But you can't be into booze and candles. That's a disaster.
Deadly combination.
That's what happens. Yes. And 100-year-old homes, because they don't make them out of poured foundations and tilt up steel walls. Those are tinder boxes. So you can't go. The combo is turn of the century wooden homes, obsession with candles, and a love of booze. That's always going to end up in your demise. That's how it ends.
Your demise.
That's right. Yeah. And what about that 94-year-old on CNN who loved booze and balloons?
Yeah.
By the way, why don't they ever be honest and go, he loved booze? You know what I mean? If you ask me,
a pint a day.
Oh,
yes.
Not to shit on your point, but those are my favorite broads. They're always like, Sally Johnson is 103 years young, and when we asked her what keeps her living, it's a whiskey a day. Like, I love those old broads.
I know. They're always like, I eat sardines out of the can. I drink Jack Daniels out of the bottle. I smoke Camel unfiltered. It's like, okay, crazy lucky witch. Shall I write this down? What else do you do? I never used a crosswalk. Never. I don't use eye protection when I'm welding. What else?
I don't believe in safety
What
on a
else
gun.
are your secrets? By the way, never talk to a 103-year-old about how they got to 103. they ever know. And then they always give their keys to life, but their keys to life never have anything to do with exercise or religion or health or hydration. It's always just lucky strikes and playing lottery and some things that are insane. Like I play bingo on Wednesday nights and it keeps me young. Really? That's what keeps you young. It's not a science. We should no longer talk. We shouldn't talk. It's like talking to an old person about how they got old is like talking to a tall person about how they got tall.
What's your secret?
Yeah, what's your secret? Right.
Well said.
All right, let me hit LifeLock here. Practice safe online holiday shopping. Only shop websites with URLs that start with HTTPS and have a locked padlock icon, I should say, to the left of the URL. Don't overshare. No online retailers need your social security number or date of birth. That is your information. It's important to understand how cybercrime and identity theft are affecting our lives. These holidays, you can miss certain identity threats by just monitoring your credit or bank statements alone. LifeLock helps detect a wide range of identity threats like your social security number for sale on the dark web. If they detect your info is being used in their network, they will send you an alert. It's LifeLock, right, Dawson?
No one can prevent all identity theft or monitor all transactions at all businesses, but LifeLock can help you feel warm and protected this holiday season. Save up to 25% off your first year at LifeLock.com with promo code Adam. That's 25% off at LifeLock.com, promo code Adam.
All right, let's do one more, Gina Grad.
All right. Well, I know that none of us are really into the whole cancel culture thing or something that was said a million years ago and everyone has to apologize, but I found this one to be the exception. I found this to be rather fascinating, actually. If you're familiar with the children's author Roald Dahl, he wrote Charlie and the Chocolate Factory and Matilda and BFG and the Witches.
He's at my birthday cocktail party.
There you go. He's one of Bryan's best friends.
DFG's coming on the show tomorrow.
Oh, perfect.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I think they might have something in common.
Mm-hmm.
He said in a 1983 interview that there's a trait in the Jewish character that does provoke animosity. Maybe it's a kind of lack of generosity toward non-Jews. I mean, there's always a reason why anything crops up anywhere. Even a stinker like Hitler didn't just pick them for no reason.
Stinker.
A stinker like Hitler.
You little stinker.
It even showed up in his art. If you ever saw Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, that included a large-nosed child snatcher, which was his sort of anti-Semitic trope that he seemed to embrace. And although he died 30 years ago, this statement is making the rounds. The family is apologizing, saying deeply apologizes for the lasting and understandable hurt caused by some of Roald Dahl's statements. But pretty bold. I like the ones that are just kind of out there. There's really no way to, we didn't take it out of context.
I have a vague Chitty Chitty Bang Bang memory. How old was he when he died, by the way, Max Pat? I bet he was younger than everyone that CNN reported on. So the child snatcher from Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, I have this vague recollection. You say, I think kind of looked like during Nazi propaganda, all those posters and the propaganda with the big nosed Jew. I think he was kind of loosely modeled on a Nazi propaganda poster of a Jew. That's 74.
Yeah.
Would have been the youngest person on that CNN list.
Oh, tragic.
He loved children's novels and he hated the Jews. Now he's gone. I wonder if we can find a picture of that. But it's something I never thought about. I have not seen that movie since I was 4, 7, or whatever the hell I was. But I now have a vague recollection of them looking like a scary propaganda poster.
Oh. The one from the movie is quite grotesque.
Is it? Big nose?
I mean, it's elongated. Yeah, there you go.
Mm-hmm.
That is, yeah.
Yeah. Didn't take much.
It does look like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Didn't take much.
Looks like a propaganda poster.
Scare
right.
people back then. Yeah. Yeah, it's got that feel. All right, Gina, let's bring her home.
You got it. I'm Gina Grad, and that's the news.
Gina Grad.
That was the news with Gina Grad.
All right, you got to remember to vote for Most Disgusted to Have Sex with Adam in 2020. The polls are open. And maybe the subgroup of the people, challenge yourself. Make sure it's someone I'd like to have sex with. See if we can try to work that angle. You can go to AdamCarolla.com for all the live shows, because I am doing live shows everywhere. And you can check out I'm Your Emotional Support Animal, my book on Amazon. Get it, write a review. I read the reviews, and I appreciate that. Deaf Frat Guy coming in tomorrow, zooming in, right, calling in. Do that. And until next time, Adam Carolla for Bryan, Gina Grad saying mahalo.